What's up, everyone? My name is Vincent, and today I want to go through this integer word problem. So take a second to read this part of the question here. And what we're trying to find in this question is the minimum number of buses that need to be scheduled so that we use the smallest number of buses possible and that we have the smallest number of seats empty. And there are 151 people to transport, and the only type of buses that we have are buses that have room for 25 people and 34 people. So the key to answering a question like this is we have to be organized. So we could set up a table here to record all of our data. Now, what we could look at here before we start filling out this table is what is the minimum number of buses that we need in order to have enough space for all 151 people. And if we want to minimize the number of buses, then we could start with using the biggest buses that they offer, which are the 34 passenger buses. So if we start here and we look, let's say we start with 34 people and we multiply this by 5. We're going to get 170 people. So that tells us that if we have 5 buses that hold 34 people, then we have enough room for 170 people, which is enough room for the 151. But now, just to show you that we need at least 5, then we should also consider here, well, how much space would we have if we only went with 4 buses? And for this here, if we multiply, we're going to have room for 136 people, which is not enough. This tells us here that we need at least 5 buses in order to have enough space for 151 people, because using the biggest bus, if we only have 4, we're going to be 15 seats short for the 151. So when we look at this scenario here, we could start by saying, all right, the number of small buses we go with is 0. The number of big buses is 5. That'll offer us 170 seats. And then the number of empty seats, well, we could just subtract 151 from 170. And if we just borrow here, 10 minus 1 is 9, 6 minus 5 is 1, there will be 19 empty seats. Okay, so we're just subtracting the total number of seats. We're subtracting 151 students from the total number of seats to see how many seats would be left. Okay, but we should go through. Now we'd say, well, what if we have 1 small bus and then 4 big buses? Like, we wouldn't want to say 1 small bus and 5 big buses, because then we'll have extra seats. And the goal is to have the smallest number of seats that are empty. So then here, to go through this second scenario here, and maybe we'll color code this. We'll do this part here in red. So we have 1 small bus, 1 big bus. Well, the small bus has 25 people, so we'll have 1 times 25, which is equal to 25. So we have room for 25 people here. And then we have 4 times 34, which we showed a moment ago was 136. So now if we add these together, 136 plus 25, we'll see here that we have room for 161 total people. So we'll have 161 total seats here if we go with 1 small bus and 4 big buses. But now, how many leftover seats will we have? We subtract the total number of people, and there'll be 10 extra seats. Okay, so already the second option is better because we have less empty seats, and we will most likely, there's no money involved here, but I can imagine renting a smaller bus is going to be cheaper than renting a big bus. So we go to the next line. And now let's say we have 2 small buses, 3 big buses. Well, 2 small buses, they each seat 25. So we have 2 times 25, which is equal to 50. And then for 3 big buses, we would have 3 times 34. And 3 times 34 is going to give us 102. So then if we look here, what is the total number of seats? Well, we could just add these together. 102 plus 50 is 152. So we have 152 total seats, and then this, we could do the subtraction on the side, but if we do 152 minus the 151 students, there will only be one extra seat. Now, this is really looking like the best option here, but then just to be certain, what we're going to do is we're going to consider the next case where we have 3 small buses and we have 2 big buses. So I'll write that over here in this corner. It's all color coded. So we have 3 times 25, because now we have 3 small buses that seat 25 passengers, giving us room for 75 people. And then 2 big buses, we have 2 times 34, which is equal to 68. So now if we add these together, 5 plus 8, we get 13. 1 plus 6 is 7, plus another 7 is 4. So we have room for 143 people. So the number of empty seats, well, we're not going to have enough seats. Okay, we're going to be short by 8 seats. If we do 143 minus 151, that works out to -8. So we have -8 empty seats. This just means that we would need 8 more seats in order to seat all 151 students. So now we have enough information to answer this question. So if we go ahead and write out our solutions, this is the best option here, this middle row. So now when it comes time to answering this question, we just have to record what we have in the table. So we should have 2 small buses, and we're going to have 3 big buses. Okay, where the small buses are the ones that seat 25 and the big buses are the ones that seat 34. And based on our answer to part A, how many empty seats will there be? Well, we already did the math. The total number of seats in this layout here is 152. So if we only need to transport 151 students, we'll have 152 minus 151. We'll have only 1 empty seat. Okay, so these are our solutions to this question here. But once again, the main idea is organize your work, because this could be kind of tricky to do. And when you make the table like this, it's very clear what your solution has to be. Okay, well, this is going to conclude this video on solving an integer word problem. If you found this video to be helpful, please click the like and subscribe buttons below. It really helps me grow the channel. And if you got any requests for future videos, leave the topics in the comments section below. And thank you for watching.